Good morning, Linux lovers. Hang on a minute, it's all gone wrong. I can't hear anything. I wonder why that is. Okay. Odd. Well, we'll overlook that. Good morning. How is everyone doing? Right, I'm here for another cup of tea. It could get interesting. I'm giving OBS 27.1.0 a go this morning, so there's every possibility this is going to go wrong, because whilst I was sat here doing nothing earlier, it just crashed on me. So let's see how it goes when we do it for real. So I've just sent out a couple of messages, as I usually do. Let's just bring up what we need here in terms of the stream info. Right then, so I wonder if anyone will join. We'll not wait and see. We'll get on with things, but I will have a cup of tea as well. So yesterday I made a bunch of changes to a collection of packages that are sort of mostly specific to Ubuntu MATE. While they're out there for any distro to use, they're kind of for Ubuntu MATE first. So things like MATE Optimus and stuff like that. So we rounded up a bunch of community contributions and pulled in those updates and got all of that in the archive. But then I saw that my good friend Yannick had made a pull request for Brisk Menu. So I think what we'll do is we'll pull in that fix plus a few others that exist for Brisk and get that into what will become Ubuntu MATE 2110. Good morning, Popey. Do you have a cup of something? Thanks for stopping by. Right then, so without further ado, let's take a look down here. So just finished the first one. Yes, I mean I'm not going to say what the Americans call it, but I make two mugs when I do these. One to start and one to enjoy. McDoom. Good, well, time appropriate greetings. If it's good evening, whereabouts in the world are you? It's my morning here, just getting started. So this is where Brisk Menu lives upstream now. You can see that the last release was on the 14th of August last year, and if we look at the commits, we can see that the only commit that has been merged almost a year later is the one from Yannick, and this was pretty cool. It was something that he noticed in one of these streams a couple of days ago, and then we had a chat in Discord. That's wimpysworld.io/discord if you want to join our Discord channel. That's where the Ubuntu MATE team hang out, among other people that are interested in broadcasting and streaming on Linux are also hanging out in there, hence why I'm running OBS 27.1 release candidate 1, which did crash unceremoniously whilst I was setting up. So there's a high chance that this stream may end abruptly at some point. But Yannick spotted that ordering in the menus didn't honour internationalised character sets. So I gave him a couple of very loose pointers as where to look, and he did a bit of research. And he came up with this fix, which now correctly sorts the menus. So, as this is not in a released Brisk Menu, I thought I'd pull this in as a patch so that we can get some wider testing and Yannick can see the fruits of his labour. But also, I noticed there was a couple of other pull requests here. So, there's one, this one is most interesting, this one here that looks like it may fix an issue that we might see in the future. Oh, I've just noticed something fell off there. Let me deal with that, because that's not going to fly. I've got, oh crikey, that is hot. Woo. Ah, hot. So I bought some of my little magnetic lights in from home. I thought I'd give them a go. Right then, so this one I think I want to test because if it doesn't break anything and it looks like it's going to fix a problem that may come up in the future with a new version of the build tools, then we should probably get that merged. And then this one's very interesting because there's a bunch of little crashes in Brisk Menu, and it looks like this sets out to address a bunch of those. So I want to, you know, get these out in the wild and see if we can see any benefit from those. So those are what we're going to have a go at. 3 patches. So we're going to add 3 patches to the Brisk Menu Debian packaging. Oh, hello. That's interesting. Spotify's decided to put notifications on that screen. That's not what I want. Right, let me just move up here. Let's just configure my notifications to not pop up randomly. Don't use the active monitor. Preview. There we go. Good. Right, that's better. Hey, Mac, haven't seen you around for a while. How are you doing? And Jeff, good morning. Welcome back. So I think what we'll do is we'll do Yannick's first because I think that's probably the one that we are most interested in. So the way that I do this is I go to the pull request for these things. And if you just add diff to the pull request URL, you get yourself a nicely formatted single patch for that PR. So we'll then be able to pull that in. So I think I'll just make there we go, make that a bit bigger. So we'll need that URL, and I've got not Google Code, Visual Studio Code. Yeah, okay. So Jeff says, oh yes, it's everyone from the Netherlands. And if there's anyone else hanging out in chat, you know, raise your hand, give us a wave. So we're going to be doing this all in the Debian packaging for Brisk, because all we're going to be doing is adding patches to the deb rather than rolling a new upstream release. I'm going to be testing these 3 patches. I'm also an upstream admin for that repository, although it sits in the Solus project. So once I'm confident those 3 patches are good, well, we know Yannick's it's already been merged to master, but once those have been validated, I'll then merge those other 2. I'll turn that off because lens keeps falling off the front. I'll merge them in together. So that's the plan. Good morning, Esme. How are you? And Lance. Hello, Lance. Welcome back. Good to see you again. Do you still work at that place where we used to work together, or are you somewhere else now? Just curious. Right. Let's have a think. So where we do this work is in the Debian patches directory, which currently has nothing in it because we did roll everything up for like the 2010 release, I think it was. So if we go back to our browser, this is the URL we want. And in fact, if we go to the patch version, yeah, it's a single commit. So we'll take that. So we'll just grab that diff. Oh no, we'll grab the whole patch. I usually do. I'm going to grab the diff. I'd rather manually modify it. And then we're going to stick that in Debian patches. And what does this fix sorting order? Yeah, let's just grab those words. And this is an upstream patch, so we'll prefix this with a 1. And then we'll Just call it something like fix sorting with accented. Chars. That will do. That conveys the meaning of the patch, I think. You're somewhere else now, not that place anymore. We could say what that place is. I mean, we both used to work at CV Library. Right then. I imagine you were glued to the judo at the Olympics a few weeks back then. What's this, Esme? GitHub tools are cool. I've just discovered adding things behind the URL. Yeah, GitHub's pretty good. It's a neat little trick. You can do some interesting stuff by exposing those diffs, and particularly the .patch, like, you know, who the actual authors are and things like that. It's quite useful. So we will now echo that patch name into the Debian series file. Oops. Oh, there is no series file, so I obviously need to create it. And that file is the file that governs the order in which the patches are applied. So if we do a uscan and download the upstream Brisk tarball, we should be able to build a new source package, and oh, that's my signing key. It shouldn't choke. There we go. So it applied that patch, so that's good. So that's the first issue overcome. So Popey says the thing that he loves about GitHub is being in a repo and changing the .com to .dev and instantly getting a browser-based VS Code. What? This is brand new information. Hang on a minute. Can I do that anywhere? So change the .dev to a .com. Oh, sorry, .com to .dev. I did not know that was a thing. Wow, that's amazing. That's properly ace. How long have you known about that? I didn't know that was a thing at all. That is flipping brilliant. I love it. Holy smoke. So, wow. Okay, that's properly great. I love that. It was announced a few weeks back. Okay, well that one passed me by. I like that a lot. It is actually Visual Studio Code as well, pretty much. 78. Thanks very much for the follow, Meg. It is actually VS Code, isn't it? I mean, this all looks identical. Is this the marketplace icons here? It is. Huh. I'm going to have a play with this a bit later. This could change everything. Huh. Indeed. That is terrific. I love it. Of course it's Visual Studio Code because Microsoft, right? Oh, man. Okay, thank you for that hot tip, Popey. I love that. That's my new most favourite thing. There we go. We're learning GitHub tricks together there. I wish there was a list of these. There must be like a GitHub Awesome or something of these little tips and tricks. See if anyone can find something that catalogues these sort of nifty little, hacks and tricks and what have you. Quick question, getting similar feel on Mate like Pop OS Cosmic. I mean the tiling, non-tiling. Is that possible? Yeah, Marco is like a semi-tiling window manager. And in fact, I've got an ultra-wide monitor here in front of me. So you can use super character left and character right to, do the split to the left, split to the right. But if you keep doing super left, it will tile the window in diminishing fractions of a screen, which is super useful on an ultra wide, because now in the view that I have in front of me, not what you can see me broadcasting, but I have OBS taking up 2/3 of the screen and everything else stacked on top of one another taking up 1/3 of the screen. And I'm able to arrange that just using keyboard shortcuts to arrange the windows. So it doesn't tile by default like a tiling window manager, but it has tiling functionality, but it's down to you to, you know, do the arrangement. But I've put a lot of effort into putting sensible keyboard shortcuts in to do that. And if you look in Ubuntu MATE Welcome, they're all documented. Good morning, Paul. Welcome back. How are you today? Right. Okay. So where was I? I was being distracted by cool GitHub tools. Okay. So we've done the first patch. So let's go and grab the next one. So we'll now go back here to the pull requests. We'll start with this one first. And again, we'll do the, well, let's do the patch URL. I look at the patch URL because this tells me, you know, about things I need to know. I'll copy that URL, but then when I pull it in, we'll pull in the diff, and we'll output that to Debian patches, and then we'll look at the description here. So this is okay, let's do this. So this is coming from upstream, so we'll again start this with a 1, and we'll say fix. It looks like crashes when updating apps. And I think this is the biggest crasher that we have in Brisk. So I'm hopeful that this will be a fix. So that should dump the patch in the right place. We'll then echo that one out over the, and append that to the series file. Okay, that should do it. And then we'll rebuild the source package. Okay, did that apply? Looks like it did, but there's something at the end there that I don't. Something didn't work, did it? Local changes. The modified files are... Oh. Whoopsie. That's better. I put the patch in the wrong place. Okay, so that built. That's good. So now we'll go and grab the last of the patches that we're interested in. And that is fix a build order bug. And it looks like there's a derivative of the Ninja build tool called Samurai. And this fixes that, but it looks like whatever threw off Samurai, that like new behavior is going to be in newer versions of Ninja. So this is a good one to grab and include. So same again, just wget that. Whoop. Is that 39? Is that the right one? Yeah. So we'll output that to Debian patches, and again, it's coming from upstream. So fix build order. So that should do the right thing there. Oh, look what I did. My history is telling me I made a mistake. Let's get this fixed. Okay, 36 needs to go to 1001. There we go. I overwrote that patch by the looks of it. So let's just look at the series file. Yeah. Oh, no, not nano. We don't need to do that. Debian patches series. Let's put this patch in the right place. Right, let's make sure this... What did I just do there? Silly boy. Right, okay, let's try building that now. Okay, that's good. And we look in Debian patches. We have the 3 patches. Okay. Right then, okay, so what we'll do is we'll just look at the changelog and we'll put in a very simple mod to this. So we're just going to build this in a PPA. I'm not preparing the commits yet. I want to see if I try and build this, that it works. Oh, you're doing the work grind, Paul, but yeah. Right, it's time for the second cup. I need some sort of heated coaster, I think, to keep the second one warm. Right then, this is all good, so let's put a new version in. We're going to call this, it will be 2 something, and we know we're doing it on Ubuntu, so we'll call it that for now. And then we'll say Debian patches, because I will list all of those patches in due course. Git status. Okay. Untracked changes and the change log. Let's just make this suitable for building. And also, let's just look at what versions of Brisk exist. Okay, that's good. Oh, that's Debian. Let me do this then. Oh, wow, that opened on the right screen. That's... Oh, these are those fixes to Marco. Now I understand. Oh, that's really good. Okay, that's really good. Right, so interesting. That's an interesting difference. Look how long our Madison takes to come back when you query Ubuntu rather than Debian. Right, okay, so we have 62.1 in Impish. So me calling it, I could actually call it 1 Ubuntu in order to ensure that upgrades work properly. So let's just change the order of those versions. So we'll call that Ubuntu 1. We'll put a 0 on there. And then because we're going to build in a PPA, I always put the release with a micro revision on the end. And that's so if these packages are busted, I can just do a 1.1, a 1.2, a 1.3 and so on until it's all fine. And then when you upload it to the archive, you can just drop that PPA suffix and you know you've got a clean package that'll upload. So that will do for the purposes of testing. So we'll build the source package and we'll put that in the PPA play park, which is where I've been putting all of the experimental builds for the time being. We'll do one for Impish, and then we'll very quickly go in and ninja this for Hirsute and Hirsute, and save that and rebuild the package and upload it a second time. So the reason I do that is that I'm running Hirsute here, so I can actually update my main machines with these new packages, as can the QA team on their VMs and what have you. So it makes it easier to test. You don't have to be running, you know, the latest daily development build. Morning, Mindy. Welcome back. How you doing? Esme says, I've got to run off. Okay. Bye if you're still here. Have a good day. Yes, indeed. Oh, merch idea, Paul. Well, you can stay. What's this? An Ubuntu MATE branded tea cozy. I mean, we probably should do, like, you know, mate gourds and stuff like that. I did put a lot of effort into... Well, in fact, I'm actually wearing it today. There we go. I'm wearing one of the T-shirts today. So I did put some effort into, like, the merch back, you know, in the early days. It would be nice to revisit that, you know, get some... I'm not sure about stickers these days. There seems to be a lot of feeling that stickers are, you know, environmentally a bad idea. So I'm not sure what I think about doing stickers anymore. But, you know, things that are useful, like, you know, mugs. I like this tea cozy idea. And Ubuntu Mate is actually quite popular in South America. So maybe doing mate gourds would be a, you know, a smart idea. Right then, let's just hop over here and we'll look at the PPA that we're building in, and we should be able to see. Oh man, I'm not logged in. Okay, I think what I'll do is I know how to work around this. I've got the same browser, different window over here, so I'm going to log in up here so I don't have to do all of that on the stream. So that one, log in. And now I need my phone for my super secret passcode. Chelsea cucumber socks with white logos all over them. That is also a really good idea. Socks. So it's interesting you should say socks. I suggested socks for work. We have socks in our merch lineup at Slim. Incidentally, if you're watching this, do head over to the Slim Dev Ops Twitch channel, because tomorrow we're doing a live stream all about culture and community with our head of culture. We don't have an HR department at work. We have a culture department, or person in actual fact. It's a team of one, but you know, they're highly influential. So Gillian's coming on, our head of culture, and John O'Bacon, and we're going to be talking about why culture is important in building communities and companies that operate with open source. No, I didn't tweet about this stream. I've not been doing that, generally speaking. I've been doing these on the sort of, not the quiet, I'm just seeing like how much of the inbuilt Twitch notifications and the Discord community, you know, generates, you know, people joining. So yeah, I'm just sort of trying to make these a bit more low key, you know, bit of fun. So yeah. Right, okay, what am I logging into here? Ubuntu, that number. Right then, yes, log me in. Okay, so if I reload down here now. Oh, let's click on the right bit of the screen, shall we? There we go, logged in. Brilliant. So let's scroll down to Play Park. Oh, that's a bit teeny tiny, isn't it? Let's make that bigger. There we go. And if we say all the details, and then we'll filter this by impish filter. There it is, in fact. It's actually a little bit too big. So there's our build running for impish, and if I just pick this one because it's the one that's likely to complete. Oh, it has in fact built successfully. There we go. Well, that's a good start, and it's uploading. So it's not in the PPA yet, but it has done the build. Gosh, I've noticed, Popey, I don't know if you've noticed this, but the builders seem to be way faster recently. I'm going to guess that there's a thing called prod stack at Canonical, and for the longest time we were waiting for prod stack 5. I think prod stack 5 must have rolled out because I've noticed that building in PPAs and things is way quicker. So Paul says, I'm still rocking Ubuntu MATE, by the way. No inclination to go elsewhere, and it hasn't annoyed me so far. It is actually now on 2 of my machines. If I remember correctly, Paul, you made the move because GNOME was kicking up your fans. It was making the system work too hard. Is that right? Excellent. Well, I am delighted to hear that Ubuntu MATE is working for you, and the install base has increased by 100% at yours since we last spoke. That's fabulous. Right then. Okay, so we'll just let that finish. So I've got hardware news, which is I added a new webcam to do the overhead camera. So if I go to the overhead camera, which is here, you can see, hello. And you just saw that pulse, that focus pulse, right? There it is again. So lots of focus breathing. It's not going to do it now, but hopefully you saw that. So anyway, there it is again. So the reason I got this is I wanted something with a slightly wider angle of view. I'd got an old webcam that I lashed up to do this initially. I wanted a wider field of view because I'm thinking I might come in here at weekends and do some of my like Raspberry Pi builds and PC builds because I've got a big desk space here. So I kind of set myself up for that. But then the old Logitech I had was, well, it was only 720p and it didn't have much like range view. So I got myself a Razer Kio Pro because it's got a reasonably large field of view and it does 1080p 60 frames per second, which is what I wanted. But you'll see this focus breathing, which is like a common criticism in the reviews. But the good news is they've released firmware to address this. Now, of course, you can only update the firmware on Windows, but somehow Razer have been able to release into the wild millions of these, which you cannot update the firmware on, and you have to RMA the thing to get a new camera that is compatible with the firmware update tool, which is what I found out last night whilst I was trying to update the firmware on this. Recently, USB devices that need firmware, I've been using a Windows VM using my QuickEmu project, where I pass through the USB ID for the device that I want to do the firmware update on, and then in that VM install the firmware update tools and then update the firmware. And I've done it on my headset, my earbuds, and the Camlink 4K, And I tried to do it on this yesterday and it didn't work. And I thought, oh, well, maybe this is a VM thing. Anyway, went home, didn't work on Windows 10 proper either. And now I find out this. So not super impressed with that outcome, I have to say. So beware the Keo Pro, because apart from anything, if you don't have Windows, you can't update the firmware, which solves this focus breathing thing, which is mega annoying. And even then, you may end up with a device you can't update anyway. So I thought that was a bit poor. So Paul says, I'm thinking of getting a Raspberry Pi for a music streaming server, and some Pi streams would be useful. I have a ton of Raspberry Pi projects that are backlogged. And originally, when I planned all of these, I was going to make like Ubuntu based OSs for each of the projects. But I'm not going to do that now because I've had these things for probably a year and done nothing with them, because I've got the heavy lift of actually making operating systems ahead of time. So what I'm going to do is get on to building these things using existing OSs and what have you. So I have got a ton of Raspberry Pi things to do. From camera projects to games consoles. What was some of the others? I've got lots of camera projects, which I may actually be able to like replace one of these commodity webcams with a Raspberry Pi. But yeah, and Yannick, who's not here today, he's been working on a really cool project called Streamberry, which is basically put a Raspberry Pi in the Raspberry Pi touchscreen kit, and it's essentially a Stream Deck. So it uses the WebSocket to talk to OBS, so you can, use a touchscreen Raspberry Pi as a Stream Deck alternative. Maik says, I'm loving Mate on the Pis. The performance is very nice. Good. Yeah, I need to knock out a new release, actually. Yannick's been helping with that too. So I think we'll probably do some stuff on that next week, maybe. Try and get a 2104 image out for Ubuntu Mate on the Pi, and do the preliminary work for 2110 ahead of time, because I had other things I wanted to do. I needed a break and I had other things I need to take care of, so I'm a bit behind on some of the projects. So we've got a Deb, that's all fine, and in fact, well, I don't want to install this live on my working machine, so what I can do is, well, let's actually see if it should be published. Let's see if it's published. Might not be. No, not quite. So, well, I think then what I can do is I will do the commits for each of these. So let's bring up Gitkraken, and we'll do I'll just open an existing repo. Oh, hello. Oh, it opened over there. Right, Debian and Brisk. Open that. Right then, I'll just drag this in. Okay, here it is. Let's do a bunch of discrete commits. So we have got that one, and we want that line. Oh, this is a new file, isn't it? Okay, I can't unstage into... Oh, I've just found something I can't do in... Okay, I think what we'll do then is unstage that. Go here. Let's go back to Git Kraken. Stage that file. Okay. Now we'll just Series X over the top of Debian patches series. Okay, there we go. We should just have that first line now. So if we go back here, yeah, there we go. Stage that. So this is going to be Debian patches add, and then this patch name. I don't think I need any additional description. I think that's fairly straightforward. So change, commit that one. And then we'll stage that file. We'll then env Debian patches series X over the top of series now, and then we can do the hunking. So patches over series, and now I can just cherry pick that line. Okay. So we have a very specific way that we do commits in the MATE packaging team for Debian, so that these commit messages will automatically populate the changelog when it gets updated to uploaded to Debian. So add that patch. Oh, hang on. I've done this wrong. Unstaged that one and stage that one. Right. Right then, okay, that's all I need there. Debian patches, add that. Can't quite when updating. I'm just gonna have to move the chat to one side. I can't actually see what I'm doing at the moment. Let's just do this. Oh. There we go, that's correct. Commit those two changes. And then we'll stage that file. We'll stage that. That's those changes done. And then what I'll do now is just get the, in fact, we'll bring the chat back. That's the first thing I'll do. Right, oh, okay, Paul, have a good stand up. So, just take that. And this one. So I'm simulating what will happen in Debian when this, because this is just going to be an upload to Ubuntu, because the import freeze is in place, which means new packages to Debian are not being...
Thank you for the follow, OWSSLA.
Thank you very much for the follow. Do say hello in chat. It's always good to get to know everyone that's stopping by here. I like to try and get to know who people are and what their interests are. So these are the 3 patches that we've added. This also makes it clear what is in this. So we will drop this and return this to impish. And this is now a correctly formed package that could be uploaded to Ubuntu. But what we can also do is we've got those 3 commits, so we'll send all of that up to Debian. So that is now going to be in Debian Git. Pull, oh, okay, that's interesting. Auto stash, okay, so, oh, okay, might bump the standards, that's fine. Oh, thank you very much for the sub. That's very kind of you. Thank you. Right then. Yeah, there's that. Okay, and that's fine. I don't need that. That's fine. That is a minor thing. Right, so for the purposes of what needs to go to Debian, everything's there. I just need to make sure this doesn't break anything. So I'll very quickly hop into a VM and add that PPA. And we should end up with a Brisk menu that still functions. And if we don't, then it's sad face times. So let's go to quick menu. Let's run quick menu on my dev VM. So I was looking at potentially updating how QuickMU works. Apart from anything, the snap of QEMU Virtual is quite out of date. Oh, it's the wrong password. Because my password is test, by the way. Ausler. I think I'm Ausler. I think that's correct. Thanks very much for stopping by. I appreciate that. Right then. So what we'll do then is we'll open up a terminal inside the VM. We'll make that one a bit bigger. Oh, it's a bit too big. There we go. Let's apt add. I think this PPA is already added, but let's do it anyway. And then we'll do an update and hopefully Brisk is published. Let's see. Do I see Brisk in there? Yes, I do. No, I don't. No, it hasn't published yet. Okay, well, we'll pull in these updates anyway. These are some updates that I pushed in yesterday. So in actual fact, if we go and look further up, oh, I'm in the wrong screen. If we go and look further up, you can see yesterday I synced the new version of Blueman, which is the Bluetooth manager, over. We had a number of pull requests in the Mate doc applet repo in GitHub, so I merged all of those and released a new version. Same for Mate Optimus, bunch of community contributions. Mate Tweak is just a translation sync. And then I've updated the default settings for Ubuntu Mate in Impish to take advantage of some new features that exist in Mate 1.26. So a couple of tweaks to just improve things. And Skybridge77, hello. Skybridge asks, is Visual Studio Code? It's just Visual Studio Code, not Studio. So let's go and see where that build has got to. I suppose we could. Let's just do that. It seems to be taking a while for things to migrate out of a built state into a published state. So we can fudge this. We can go back into the VM. We can start a browser. We can go to Launchpad. Ooh, if I can type it correctly. And me. And then we'll go to that Play Park PPA. Make that font a bit bigger in the browser. And Brisk Menu Suit. Oh, well, Yetiop. Thank you very much for the sub. That's very kind. Thank you for stopping by. Do say hello in chat. We like to welcome, new viewers and old friends alike. So Brisk for Impish is this one. So let's hello, welcome. Thank you very much. That was very kind. So let's just look at all the details and then filter that down. In fact, probably won't need to. Here we go. What we'll do is grab this here and just download it. Save that. There we go. And now another terminal. Oh, I didn't mean to do that, did I? And then we'll go to the downloads. We'll then install that deb we've downloaded. And there we can then restart and sudo apt auto remove to remove the bits that we no longer need because of the upgrades that we did earlier. And we'll restart. And in fact, what we'll do is we'll switch this VM back to. Of course. I'm not using Brisk, so I can't do it. So we'll switch this VM back to using the familiar layout. Now, technically, that should be the new Brisk menu running right there. But just to be certain, I mean, it should be. It probably absolutely is, in fact, thinking about how that gets loaded. So we'll, just to be sure, because we've done the other updates, we'll restart because we did some other updates and we'll get all of those in. So I'm pretty confident that, well, first of all, it built. We've just installed that build from the PPA and here it is running right now. So let's search for something. Yeah, that seems to work just fine. Yeah, that's good. Count comes back with 2. So it hasn't broken anything for me as a user of non-accented characters, but let's try changing the language support. Remind me later. And install, and let's do Spanish. So we'll install Spanish and then we'll switch the system to Spanish. Although Yannick tested this with French, so it's possible that that might be a better choice because he obviously spotted this problem using French language. So maybe I should just use French, but we'll see. We'll see. Hopefully what we'll see is that when we switch the language over and we search in Brisk, things should appear in what looks like an alphabetical order. So let's do Spania, that one. Oh, hang on, I've forgotten how to do this. How do I do this? Can't remember. Install. I don't think that's necessary. Hello, Henrik. How are you doing? Thanks for stopping by. Why can't I select these? What am I missing? Well, I don't actually know how you do it. Well, okay. Anyway, what I have proven is that those patches build and Brisk still works. So I think they're all good. So I'm going to go back to my system and get that uploaded to Ubuntu so that it can be added to the release. So get rid of that VM. And we'll very quickly hop over. Henrik, so you're battling CSS and JavaScript. Have fun with that. Rather you than me. Oh, go away. Don't want you. Go away. Go away. Right then. So where were we? We need to go here. We've got a correct change log. I think that's going to have to be that, isn't it? Because it is a rev. Technically, it's an Ubuntu only thing. I think that'll suffice. So build the source package, and we put that without any PPAs, obviously. Send that to the Ubuntu archive for building. And that is it. That is Brisk updated. So that's good news. I think that was all I really wanted to get done today. Obviously, I mentioned the ridiculous situation with the overhead camera. And if I just go back here. So tomorrow, in fact, we could have a look at this now. We could do a little bit. So something I want to have a look at tomorrow is, and it's weird because this isn't in response to yesterday's announcement that Docker Desktop is becoming sort of a more paid for platform for large organizations. But on Linux, there is no desktop client provided by Docker. You get the Docker engine, but you don't get the fancy UI that you get on Windows and Mac OS. So I did start looking at projects that do a UI for Docker that are third party. I'm gonna actually, this is a bad way to do this. I'll do this research, but tomorrow I think I found 2 or 3 that looked quite sensible. So I think tomorrow I'm gonna have a little look. Oh, actually, I may not stream tomorrow. I might do. I haven't decided. There's this whole boycott Twitch for a day thing because of the hate raid stuff. I'm not sure whether or not boycotting Twitch for a day helps, because I think the boycotting has already got enough press coverage to highlight that there is disenfranchisement. People are unhappy with the fact that hate raiding is not being dealt with. So I don't know that taking a day off Twitch actually helps anyone other than Twitch. No, it's the 2nd, I think. I think it's September the 2nd. If it's today, oh well. let's find out. Hate raid boycott. When is it due? a day off Twitch. Is it today? Have I got it wrong? Am I streaming? Have I broken the picket line? Oh no, it's today. Oops. Oh well, there's that then. So I'll be streaming tomorrow then. I've already broken the rules. Okay. Well, there we go. So yeah, I'll be streaming tomorrow, and I'll be covering some Docker desktop stuff because I'm interested in what that might look like. Yeah, always nice to have, you know, shiny tools. Oh, there we go. That's all published now as well. So there we go. That's all done. And I suppose the next thing I'll be doing at some point is moving some of these over to the fresh Mate PPA. So other things I want to work on, Docker desktop stuff, and what next? I'll have to have a think about that. I think the next thing, and maybe I'll bring some equipment into here, is to finish the Raspberry Pi images for Ubuntu MATE 2104, and I can show how that works and actually get those images done. So I think that will probably be the next thing. Yeah, okay. Well, I've managed to, you know, traverse the picket line. Anyway, well, thank you for those of you that stopped by and were paying attention to what's going on Twitch, irrespective of, you know, people campaigning about hate raiding, which I do agree is a problem that needs fixing. I just think that taking a day off Twitch doesn't... Well, I think the PR has done its job. I don't think actually not streaming helps anyone other than Twitch. Right. Well, with that, I think it's time to go and make a fresh cup of tea. Thank you very much to everyone that stopped by. Thank you very much to those of you that subbed or followed today. And I'll see you tomorrow. Look forward to going over some Docker, shiny Docker graphical user interfaces. And I'm going to move some of my apps over to Docker as well. Got a few apps that I think Docker is going to be a good place to have them. So I'm going to do some work on that. So that's going to be like a continuation of the Containers 101 we did on Slim DevOps last week. And if you've not seen that and you've always wondered how to Docker, we went all the way back to the absolute basics to help people understand what containers are, how to make them in a really easy, accessible way. So we started by doing it the wrong way, deliberately, to show you like what's actually going on, what a container is and how you can manipulate it. And then we transposed that from command line foo to this is what the Docker file looks like that does those things we've just shown you. So if you've ever wondered how to get started, go over to Slim DevOps on Twitch, that's the channel name, and watch the last video, which was called Containers 101, and hopefully you'll find that useful. Anyway, bye for now, and I'll see you tomorrow, hopefully with another cup of tea. Bye for now.